Hello guys, I'm Nisha Jha and I'm pursuing MBBS from Lady Harding Medical College, New Delhi, and I'm your biology teacher. So the topic for today is life processes, right? This is chapter number 6 from CBSE class 10th science book. I'm going to start this chapter. So first of all, the introduction is that what is life process? Life process is something which can say that which maintains our life, which maintains our life. Then what do we mean by saying that maintains our life? Those process without which we cannot survive. Without these processes, we cannot survive. We cannot survive on earth, right? Like if I take an example, then I will say that nutrition is a life cycle, life process. Then why nutrition is a life process? Like if I'm saying that suppose there is a lion or there is a human, right, just like me, just like you, then we eat food, either it is junk food or it is any healthy balanced diet. So we eat food for the purpose of energy, because we do some work, and for doing work we require energy, and this energy comes from food, right? So if we do not take food, if we do not eat healthy food, then what happens? We will not get energy, and if we will not get energy, then we will become weak, right? And ultimately, we become more weak, and finally, it leads to death. So, without nutrition, I am, or any other animal or any other living being is unable to survive, unable to survive. So I can say that nutrition is a life process. We have many life processes which we have to discuss in this chapter, like nutrition, respiration, then next is digestion, next process is circulation, and next is excretion, and next is neural control and coordination, right? So we will discuss these processes in full detail by one. So again, now I'm just saying that what is life process. So those process which maintains our life is called life processes. Like example, we have nutrition, respiration, digestion, circulation, excretion, neural control, and coordination, right? Now I have one more process we will know, that is reproduction, right? So first question is, can be asked that reproduction is a life process or not? So my answer is that reproduction is not a life process. Why? Because reproduction means what? Reproduction, so we all know that it is the process. It is the process by which one organism, one organism, either it is plant, animal, or human, one organism give rise to progeny, progeny which is similar to itself, right? Similar to itself. Like if I am saying that a human is reproducing only a human, right? A lion can reproduce only a lion. No human can reproduce a lion, or no lion can reproduce a human, right? So reproduction is a process by which an organism gives rise to a progeny which is similar to itself morphologically, physiologically. We'll talk about these in later. So now I'm saying that why reproduction is not considered as life process. Suppose we have so many infertile human couple. Do you know what is the meaning of infertile human couple? Infertile human couple means who cannot reproduce. So there are so many human couples which are infertile, which cannot reproduce, but if they want any child, then they have so many options like adoption, right? So they have not reproduced that child, they had just adopted that child, right? So does the human couple do not exist on earth? They still exist on earth. So now we can say that reproduction is not something necessary to maintain the life of these couples. But why reproduction is necessary? Reproduction is important to maintain the continuity of life on earth, right? Like if I'm taking an example, we all know dinosaurs. We know that dinosaurs were existing around millions of years ago, right? So what happened with dinosaurs? Due to the changing climatic condition or due to a meteorite, the real example is not sorry, real cause is not clear to us, but suppose I can say that due to changing climatic conditions, dinosaurs were unable to survive. Why unable to survive? Dinosaurs were unable to reproduce. So they stop reproduction, and due to which they has no left any progeny on earth. So there is no progeny of dinosaurs left on earth some million years ago. So now we see dinosaurs only in pictures, in movies, etc., right? So if any organism stop reproduction, then the then the species get extinct, then that species leads to extinction. But it doesn't mean that that species cannot survive. If any human stop reproduction, then whose generation will not exist on earth, but that couple will also able to survive on earth just like two other couples, right? So that's why reproduction is not a life process, because reproduction do not helps to maintain our life. Reproduction just sustains this continuity of species, continuity of life on earth. I hope the point is clear to everyone. Now move on to the next topic, that again moving for other topics, I have a very simple process which is called diffusion. What do you mean by diffusion? Diffusion is something like intermixing of particles. This is very general definition, or either we can say that movement of substances from its higher concentration higher concentration to its lower concentration, right? And in case of gases, I can say movement of gases from higher pressure higher pressure to lower pressure. So why I am discussing diffusion here? We all know amoeba, right? This is a amoeba. So amoeba is unicellular organism, because I know that amoeba is made up. Uni means single and cellular means cells. So amoeba is single cell organism, so its body is completely surrounded by the environment, outside environment, right? Like if I'm saying that in case of human, because in this chapter we have to study all the life processes in context of human, not in context of any other organism. So I will take here example of human. Suppose this is a human, and I will take just this small portion here, like hand. If I am saying that this is my hand, right? And here are many cells. We humans are what? We humans are multicellular organism. Multicellular organism, because multi means many, so we are made up of many cells, millions of cells, right? So here these are one cellular layer, then again this is the next cellular layer, then this is next cellular layer, then this is next cellular layer. But in case of amoeba, amoeba has only a single cell. So if I am taking here, then this is my outer surrounding, right? So these cells are in contact with the outer surrounding, but these cells are not, right? So here what happened, we have, I told you that we have so many life processes. Like for digestion is carried out in digestive tract, digestive system. Respiration is carried out in respiratory system. Then excretion is done in excretory system, right? So we have so many systems, but in case of unicellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium, euglena, we do not have these kind of systems, right? So they are also living organisms, and they also have to survive on earth. So how they perform these type of functions, how they acquire their nutrition, how they acquire their oxygen for gaseous exchange, how they eliminate CO2, right? They also have to perform these functions for survival on earth. Then what happen in then, they have diffusion. What happens, suppose amoeba requires food, or amoeba requires oxygen. Suppose I am taking an example of respiration here. So I am saying that amoeba needs oxygen because he has so much carbon dioxide in its cell. So there is what, carbon dioxide has high pressure in the amoeboid cell, but in surrounding there is less pressure gradient with respect to the amoeboid cell, right? And amoeba has very low concentration of oxygen, but in surrounding of amoeba there is so much oxygen, that is high pressure gradient, right? So what happens, this oxygen moves from higher concentration gradient or higher pressure to lower pressure, that is inside amoeba, and this carbon dioxide comes out from amoeboid cell into the surrounding. So what happens, this by this process, that is by diffusion, amoeba takes in oxygen and eliminates carbon dioxide, right? So this is very simple process. What is simple process? Diffusion is very simple process which occur into the all unicellular organisms for their normal body functioning, like for digestion, respiration, excretion, right? But can I say that multicellular organism cannot perform diffusion? Of course, I can say this, because in multicellular organism, what happens, that our all cells are not in the contact of environment, so we cannot perform diffusion. Suppose I am saying that these cells, the upper layer of my skin is in contact with environment, so it can take oxygen and eliminate CO2, right? But what to the other layers of the cells, they also require oxygen na? And they also have to eliminate carbon dioxide. So what happened, we have respiratory system into which RBCs has hemoglobin, and it transports oxygen into our body. But we will talk about this in later section. Now I'm just trying to explain that in unicellular organism, diffusion is enough. Diffusion is completely enough for the normal body functioning and survival of the organism on earth. But in multicellular organisms, diffusion is not enough, right? Okay, let's move on to the next topic, that is our first life process, that is nutrition. Nutrition is what? Nutrition is intake of food. This is our first life process. Intake of food. Why intake of food occur? For the purpose of, for the purpose of energy. We require food for the purpose of energy. So this process is called nutrition. And which kind of food I am talking about? I am talking about balanced food, balanced diet, right? Not junk food like burger, pizza, etc. So mind it. So I am talking about balanced diet. And what is balanced diet? Balanced diet is something into which carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals. Everything is present in a proportionate amount. Proportionate amount. That food is called balanced food, right? So whenever we eat, then we have to include vegetables, we have to include pulses, we have to include some grains, everything we have to eat so that we get a perfect balanced diet in our food. So this is about it, what is balanced diet. Now I am talking about that nutrition. If we take nutrition as life process, because we require energy. Then on earth we have different types of mode of nutrition. Basically we have majorly two types of nutrition, that is autotrophic mode of nutrition and next is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. First of all, I am making a flow chart here so that we can understand that what we are going to study in the topic of nutrition. Then I will explain one by one. Okay. So autotrophic nutrition. First of all, I have just completed that. What do you mean by auto? Auto means self, and trophic word comes from trophus, right? So trophus means nutrition. And what do you mean by hetero? Hetero means others, and again trophic means nutrition. So autotrophic nutrition means that organism depends on itself for its nutritional requirement. Nutritional requirement, right? Like if you have grown any plant, then whenever we sow any seed or whenever we plant any tree or plant etc in a garden, then we are not going to give her roti, we not going to give her dal or any other eatable items to the plant so that we think that plant will be hungry and we have to give her food, right? We do not give her food because we know that plants can make her food itself. Plant do not require our food items, right? So this type of mode of nutrition is called autotrophic mode of nutrition. And what do I mean by heterotrophic mode of nutrition? Heterotrophic mode of nutrition means the organisms depends on others for their nutritional nutritional requirement, right? So just like us, human, dog, cat, lion, anything, fungi, right? So these are what? These are heterotrophic organisms because we cannot prepare our food. We just cook our food, right? If someone is saying that we also prepare our food, we are making roti, we are making dal, then we are not making it. We are just cooking it. We do not, we cannot prepare our food from inorganic substances. I can say that the perfect definition of autotrophic mode of nutrition is what? Autotrophic mode of nutrition is something like this, that conversion of inorganic substances inorganic substances into the organic substances, right? Into organic substances. Now again I can ask that what is inorganic and what is organic. So if anyone know, then they can tell me in the comment section. Otherwise I am going to tell that inorganic substances mean the substances other than hydrocarbons. Like if we can justify that organic substances means carbon and hydrogen containing, that is hydrocarbon substances containing, or their derivatives. We have a chapter in 10th class, that is carbon and its compound, into which we are going to study. Like if I take an example, CO2, H2O, and glucose, that is 6,6H12O6. This is inorganic compound, right? Water, it is also inorganic compound. But glucose, this is organic compound. Why? Because in CO2 we have carbon, we do not have hydrogen here, right? In water we have hydrogen but we do not have carbon here. But in glucose we have carbon also, we have hydrogen also, and we also have oxygen here. So these are derivatives of hydrocarbons, right? So this compound is called organic compound. We, that is heterotrophs, any heterotrophic organism. So heterotroph just convert organic into organic, right? We just get the raw organic material and we just cook it for ourselves. But what plants? Plants means autotrophic plant. Autotrophs convert these inorganic substances into the organic one, right? So this is called autotrophic mode of nutrition, into which inorganic substances is converted into organic. And heterotrophic nutrition means what? The organisms which depend on others like plants, animals for their nutritional requirements are called heterotrophic. Now again we come to the flow chart, that is autotrophic mode of nutrition. I hope everything is clear about autotrophs. So autotrophic mode of nutrition is further divided into two parts. One is photosynthetic autotroph, photosynthetic autotrophic mode of nutrition, and next is chemosynthetic mode of nutrition. Chemosynthetic autotrophic mode of nutrition. So what is this photosynthetic and chemosynthetic autotrophic mode of nutrition? Now start from photosynthetic autotrophic mode of nutrition. Photosynthetic autotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic is clear, everyone? Photosynthetic. Photo means light and synthetic means synthesis, yani synthesize means to make. To make. So photosynthetic autotrophs are called those organisms which prepare or which make or which synthesize their food in the presence of in the presence of light energy, right? So this process is also called photosynthesis. That is what is I am calling photosynthetic autotrophs. The most of the plants are photosynthetic autotrophs because they perform photosynthesis. And what is photosynthesis? That is, they prepare their food in the presence of light energy. And what is the ultimate source of light energy we have? We have sunlight, right? So they prepare their food in the presence of sunlight. And what do you mean by chemosynthetic autotrophs? Chemo means light. So chemosynthetic autotrophs means organism which prepare their food by reducing the chemical substances. So plants do not fall in the category of chemosynthetic autotrophs. We have some chemosynthetic bacteria which perform chemosynthetic autotroph, right? Purple sulfur bacteria. So these bacteria extract their food from the chemical substances. By reducing those chemical substances, they get energy. So that is why they are called chemosynthetic autotroph, right? I hope everyone has cleared about autotrophic mode of nutrition. Now I am switching on the topic of photosynthesis. photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is very important. After completion of autotrophic, we will move on to the topic of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So first of all, I am explaining about photosynthesis, that is autotrophic mode of nutrition. If everyone I think know about the photosynthetic equation, photosynthetic equation is what? 6CO2 plus 12H2O in the presence of sunlight, that is light energy, and chloroplast. Plant prepare its food, that is C6H12O6. What is this? This is glucose plus water, that is 6H2O is liberated plus 6 oxygen is liberated, oxygen molecule, right? So this is the overall equation of photosynthesis. Now we have to explain this. Plants has total 4 requirements during photosynthesis. What are these requirements? First is carbon dioxide, yani CO2. Second is water, H2O. Third is sunlight, that is light energy. And fourth is chloroplast, that is present into the chlorophyll, right? Chlorophyll. So plants has total these 4 requirements for photosynthesis. Then how do plants get them, right? So for sunlight, we do not have to think. For sunlight, plant get it from directly from sun. Chloroplast is present, chlorophyll is present inside the chloroplast. Chloroplast is what? That is plastid. We have read about these in class 9th. So plants have so many plastids, and which plastids contain chlorophyll, that is called chloroplast, and these chloroplasts are present into the leaves, and in leaves these are present into the mesophyll cells. Right? What is mesophyll cells? These are the parenchymatous cells, parenchymatous cells of the leaves. So, 2 requirements of plants are fulfilled. First is sunlight. Sunlight plant gets from sun directly. And second is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is present into the chloroplast, and chloroplasts are present into the leaves, mesophyll cells, right? Now we have to concentrate on these 2 requirements. It is how do plants get CO2 and how do plants get water. So plants will get these substances from, suppose I am talking about water. Water is present into the atmosphere. Water is present into the atmosphere in the form of moisture, right? And also into the soil, right? So atmosphere, that is moisture content of water, is very less. Plant do not use it. Plants get water directly from soil with the help of roots. So we have a plant's diagram like this. We have this plant, this tree, these are its leaves. So plants have so many roots and root hairs into the soil, and plants absorb water with the help of these root and root hairs and transport it to the leaves. Suppose I am making a leaf here like this. So plant transport these water to the leaves with the help of specialized tubes, and these specialized tubes are called xylem, right? So xylem vessels. Xylem has 4 components: xylem vessels, xylem tracheids, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. So plants, any trees, any plants transport the water to the leaves, the site, that is food factory of plant, with the help of xylem vessels. So plants also get water where? From soil with the help of xylem, right? Now The last requirement of plant is CO2. So CO2 is present into our atmosphere in so much abundance. So plant get the CO2 directly from the atmosphere with the help of stomata. What is stomata? Stomata is small pores, right? So I will explain the next topic and the whole photosynthesis into the next class. I hope you enjoyed the class. So keep studying, guys. Thank you.